Okay, 1 tablespoon of milk, 3 cups of flour, 4... Oh, hey there. I'm just in the middle of copying down this lasagna recipe from my favorite cookbook. My friend Justin wants to make it for his family, but I don't want to hand over the whole cookbook. Instead, I'm writing down the instructions for just this one recipe so he can take it home to his own kitchen. You might be wondering what this has to do with biology. Well, something very similar happens in your cells when they need to make proteins. This process, called protein synthesis, happens in 2 major steps. In this lesson, we'll learn how cells turn DNA instructions into proteins. In today's video, we'll focus on the first step of that process. Ready? Let's get to work! Synthesis means making something new by putting smaller building blocks together. Think about proteins and their building blocks. What do you think happens during protein synthesis? Protein synthesis is the process of making proteins by putting together amino acids. Proteins are built at ribosomes, and the process is directed by instructions found in DNA. In prokaryotic cells, DNA and ribosomes are both floating around in the same place, the cytoplasm. This makes it pretty simple for the ribosome to read the instructions. But in eukaryotic cells, it's not so simple. DNA is stored safely inside the nucleus, and it's too large to leave, so the DNA instructions can't reach the ribosome directly. So, how does the cell get the instructions to the ribosome? Think back to our cookbook example. The cell doesn't send the whole cookbook. Instead, it copies just one recipe for one protein and sends that copy out to the ribosome. Why might it be important for the cell to keep the original DNA in the nucleus? Pause the video here to record your ideas. Keeping DNA protected is important, and the nucleus helps protect it from harm. Once the DNA leaves the nucleus, it could get damaged, ruining the instructions for building essential proteins. Copying only the gene that's needed is more efficient for the cell too. Your cells are making proteins constantly, even right now as you watch this video. If they had to copy all of the DNA instructions every single time, it would take way longer for cells to build the protein workers they need. This is where the central dogma comes back in, the model that shows how genetic information flows in one direction in cells. DNA stores the instructions, RNA carries a copy of those instructions from the nucleus to the ribosome, and then proteins are built from those instructions. The central dogma acts like a roadmap for the 2 main steps of protein synthesis. First, the cell copies the instructions from DNA into RNA in a process called transcription. Then, the RNA can go to the ribosome and be used to build a protein in a process called translation. Both of these steps are essential to protein synthesis, but in this video, let's zoom in on step 1. Transcription is the first big step of protein synthesis. It's how we get from DNA to RNA. Let's take a closer look at that word, transcription. When you see the word root script or scribe, what do you think of? Pause the video here to jot down your thoughts. To transcribe means to make a written copy, like the recipe I copied down for Justin. In cells, transcription is the process of copying DNA instructions into an RNA message that can leave the nucleus. In fact, this type of RNA is actually called messenger RNA, or mRNA for short. In order to make mRNA, the DNA needs to unzip so the instructions can be read. Think back to the process of DNA replication. Any predictions about what type of helper might unzip the DNA? An enzyme. RNA polymerase is the enzyme that helps with transcription. It finds a starting signal called a promoter at the beginning of the gene that contains the right protein instructions. When the enzyme binds to this promoter, the DNA strands start to separate and unwind. One side of the DNA molecule, called the template strand, serves as the pattern for building the mRNA copy. As the RNA polymerase enzyme moves along the template strand of the DNA, it reads the nitrogen bases. Just like with DNA replication, this enzyme uses complementary base pairing rules to build a new strand. But this time, we're only copying one gene, building a short mRNA strand of only the instructions we need. And because the new strand uses RNA nucleotides instead of using thymine, adenine in the DNA will call for uracil in the RNA copy of the instructions. Let's try it out. Say that DNA instructions for a gene contain the following nitrogen bases: TAC, CGC, TTA, GAG. Using complementary base pairing, what should the RNA copy of these instructions read? Pause the video here to try it out. Our first base is T, so its complementary base in the RNA would be A. The second DNA base is A. RNA uses uracil instead of thymine, so the complementary base in the RNA copy will be U. If we keep going, the entire complementary RNA should read AUG, GCG, AAU, CUC. As the enzyme moves along the DNA strand, the DNA rewinds behind it. When it reaches a signal marking the end of a gene, called a terminator, the enzyme releases both the DNA and the newly formed messenger RNA. Finally, the mRNA is packaged, finalized, and glued together in a process called RNA splicing. The end result? A small single-sided RNA copy of the instructions needed to build one protein. Cells contain DNA instructions for all of the proteins that an organism could need, like a cookbook contains tons of different recipes. When cells need to make a protein, they copy down only the recipe they need for that specific protein in a process called transcription. Then, that single recipe, or mRNA, can be sent out to the ribosome to actually build the protein. But just like copying a recipe down won't cook the lasagna by itself, copying the instructions as RNA is only the first step of protein synthesis. In the next video, we'll dive into step 2, translation, and see how the cells use the mRNA copy of instructions to actually assemble a string of amino acids in the right order to make a functional protein. Until then, I'm Sydney. Stay curious, keep asking questions, and I'll see you next time. Hey, hey.